I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. This video is about P90X, insanity, and Zumba. And I hate to even make a video about this because I know so many people love these programs and I'll get a bunch of hate mail. But I'm receiving a lot of questions about these programs because people don't know. They don't understand the concepts of exercising, and they say, Steve, are these good programs to start with? I guess probably the best way to begin to explain it is to explain a little bit about exercise and calorie utilization. When we do cardiovascular activity, walking, jogging, biking, running, we're taking in plenty of oxygen so we can use primarily fat as an energy source. So fat has 9 calories per gram. So when you're doing cardiovascular activity, you're burning primarily fat. When you lift intensely, meaning weight training or calisthenics, you are exercising intensely. Pretty soon you run out of oxygen. Pretty soon you start burning sugar. The waste products of that sugar begin to accumulate in the muscle because there's no oxygen present to remove them. Therefore, those waste products begin to accumulate. You feel that in the form of burning sensation in the muscles. No pain, no gain. That's where you feel the burn. Now that's not a bad thing. You're burning sugar, but you're burning sugar at 4 calories per gram, not fat at 9 calories per gram. And the bad thing about weightlifting with regards to calorie utilization is as it becomes harder and harder, your muscles burn and hurt and get fatigued, and pretty soon you can't do it anymore. So that's why cardiovascular activity really is best for the utilization or burning of calories. Now with programs like Insanity and P90X, those are home exercise programs, whether you're exercising with body weight, calisthenics, or you're using a combination of body weight and or free weights, dumbbells, things like that. That is weight training. That is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you begin to pick up the intensity of this type of training, the Insanity and the P90X, their weight training aspects, that doesn't burn any more calories. It doesn't make you cardiovascular, even though you're out of breath. People don't realize that. You are not cardiovascular when you're lifting weights. You are still anaerobic. You're still burning sugar. Are you burning a whole lot more sugar? No, not really, because the body is very efficient with its calories. So when you see these people on TV and they're doing these wacky, crazy exercises, I'm not crazy about that. But again, if you have nothing else to do and that's what you have to do at home to create a resistance program, that's fine. But you have to realize that even though they're doing all these wacky, crazy exercises, that's great. That is resistance training. But they still have to do something to burn additional fat or improve their cardiovascular performance. And that's where doing additional cardio comes in, and that's where dieting comes in. So when you see these programs on TV and these people going through all these great forms of exercising and intensity, and you see a gym full of people or a studio full of people and they're exercising like maniacs, number one, these people are in pretty good shape. They've been doing this for a while. And number two, all that intensity, insanity, and P90X stuff, that's weight training. I don't care how out of breath they are. They still have to do some type of additional cardiovascular activity, like walking, jogging, running, things of that nature. And they also have to diet. Because remember, even really effective cardiovascular activity only burns maybe 300 calories an hour. So when you see these massive changes in these people, when you see them on TV, the before and after, and they look okay, they look kind of maybe a little thick, a little pudgy, and then in the next shot they look more solid, more tight, more vacuum packed. That's not just because they just did the exercises, the weight training programs. They had to do cardiovascular above and beyond what they consider cardiovascular, meaning all that weight training. They had to do additional cardio, and they had to diet as well. Now, if you're not very overweight, you may not have to diet. Just the activity of doing cardio and doing some type of weight training will get you to that point. So again, P90X and Zumba, nothing wrong with them, but don't be fooled by what you see on TV. Getting in shape involves 3 things: weight training or resistance training, cardiovascular activity, and if you have a lot of weight to lose, appropriate diet, meaning either eating less or eating healthier. Either way, the diet has to cause you to eat fewer calories. Those three things are critical. Now, with regards to P90X and insanity, you have to think of effective types of cardio. Cardio, kickboxing, and aerobics, not really the best. The best types of cardio are long, easy cardio that you can do for long periods of time for the average person who's not in great shape. You also have to remember P90X and insanity, they show those people working out like maniacs. Well, you know something? The average person can't do that. So if you do P90X or insanity, you might have to do them at a slower pace with fewer reps and not do all those goofy ass exercises because you may not have the strength. Let's say you're a 250-pound man or a woman. You're not going to be able to do a push-up or hold yourself up on one hand and one foot. You got to keep it simple. So with regards to those two programs, you know, great if you got nothing else. I'd rather spend 6 months and the same amount of money going to a gym, learning a little bit about the machines, doing cardio on a treadmill, elliptical, or Stairmaster, and again, sort of get into the routine of it. With regards to Zumba, okay, you know, dancing is wonderful, swiveling your hips is great to look at, but you need something a little more intense if you want to do resistance training or bodybuilding or sculpting, or you need something that involves greater utilization of the legs if you want to call it a cardiovascular activity, because dancing just is not that great. Now, if you're a professional dancer and you do it for 8 hours a day and you're doing the cha-cha and the rumba and the waltz and all that stuff, yes. But even professional dancers have to watch what they eat so they don't gain weight. So is Zumba a great program? You know, it might be a good supplement to your exercise regimen. But when you see people who do training, meaning I teach aerobics, I teach Zumba, I do cardio kickboxing, I do this, you know, yeah, that's great. But you don't see them when they're doing all those other things fitness nuts do, like doing running outside or doing weight training and things like that. People don't see it. People don't see me when I'm outside doing sprinting. And they don't see me when I'm doing jiu-jitsu. They just see a guy lifting weights, and then when I pull off my shirt, they go, wow, you have abs. Look how lucky you are. Well, you know, I still watch what I eat Monday through Friday. I do a decent amount of cardio, and I do intense cardio, and I'm also doing other activities as well. So these are some things you need to keep in mind when you're thinking about P90X and Zumba or insanity. And again, you have to remember, these programs are for sale. So when you see these people on TV, they're going to say, hey, we're going to put you on TV. So we need a good before and after shot. So we're going to give you 3 months to get in shape. And you notice in a lot of these videos, these people aren't massively overweight or obese, because you're not going to see massive changes in the human body in 90 days unless the person is relatively lean to begin with and they haven't done much weight training. So when they weight train, if they haven't done it, their body responds quickly, then their body begins to utilize fat quickly. So now we see massive changes in 90 days, hence the term P90X. But for somebody who's really out of shape, who's very overweight, these are not great programs. The principles of weight training, cardio, and dieting are good, but I wouldn't use those programs as a method of doing it. I would do something a little more simplified, a little more structured, a little more easy for the average person to do. And it will be more effective for the average person to do, because a lot of that stuff is just a little too hard. So that's my take on P90X, insanity, and Zumba. If you love it and it's changed your life, that's fine. I'm just talking about what is really going on biomechanically and physiologically in the human body. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard.